Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is LatexFoil, and today we are going to be looking at Stasis, a point-and-click sci-fi horror adventure game set in space. Dead Space, you say? No, Stasis. But given how much it resembles or just plain copies from the game, such as horrifying abominations, a villain so laughable he might as well be twirling his mustache, a wife to save, an Amtrak shuttle crashing, and a brutal surgery scene, it might as well call itself status quo for how cliche and predictable the plot is. Oh wait, he's got a kid too. Buzzing. That totally throws that analysis out the window. You are John Marachek, a simple school teacher who finds himself on the SS We Totally Don't Do Human Experimentations after a snafu with the stasis pods. You're tasked with finding your wife and child. Luckily, the crew is more than happy to help you find your family. There was a simple clerical error in the stasis pods, and with a simple fix, you head off to Disney World on Neptune. Oh wait, never mind. Of course everything's fucked and everyone is dead. Guess it beats waiting in line for Space Mountain. Hardy har har. The game paces itself rather well, at first. You only catch glimpses of the horrifying little whatevers every now and then, and the jump scares used in the game are shockingly few and poignant. Something the creators of Dead Space never got their heads around, that having monsters pop out of every goddamn vent gets a little old after the 11th upteen time. With the exception of the villain, who quite literally believes himself to be a god, who is also a complete unlikable dick, the characters are genuinely sympathetic. But none of that really matters because the game just isn't that scary. The game is horrifying. No one can deny that, the premise of the plot. But it's just not scary. The creatures you seldom see in the beginning of the game come out in gangbusters later on in dead heaps or strapped to tables, which kills the tension. It doesn't help that halfway through the game you literally go from one room to another with bodies of the crew wallpapering the walls with the latest blood paint from Sherwin-Williams. It's just too much. You become desensitized by the whole thing. Fear loses its intrigue and tension the moment it's all explained or becomes all too common, which Stasis has in spades for both. No amount of pity or sorrow from the characters' well-written and well-delivered dialogue can fix this problem because it stops being special. You see one room of skinned corpses, you've seen them all. You might ask, what about the point-and-click adventure portion of the game? And my answer would be that it's doing its job. There are only a few stupidly obtuse puzzles in the game, but the majority of them are common sense. A crowbar is used like a crowbar, rope is used like rope. There's nothing in the game that's going to bend your mind backwards trying to figure out what combines with what and what to use said item on. What you think an item would be used for in the real world is used the same way in the game, so the game has that down pat, but none of the puzzles are terribly difficult anyways. It's all rather common sense, and the only way you die is by a lack thereof. I think that's the main problem with the game. There's no sense of urgency. You have no time limit, no ticking clock, and despite being surrounded by hordes of monsters killing everything in their path, there's no way for you to be killed by one. Death is a result of you being too thick to realize that grabbing two power lines to open a door might kill you. But that doesn't help. It doesn't help that the game's ending also just sucks too. I'd call it a twist if the villain didn't tell us what the end cutscene is before it happens, so yeah, it's just a shit ending. That all being said and done, is the game good? Yes, it is. It's generally horrifying by a small indie company that actually bothered to look up the definition of horror before making a goddamn horror game. The voice acting, while sometimes disjointed, is excellent. The writing is well done, the sound effects and music appropriate, and the atmosphere is compelling. They took an overused, cliche-ridden plot and premise for their first game, and still managed to produce something AAA companies couldn't do with all their exorbitant money, time, and talent at their disposal. If the Brotherhood had the same budget as Dead Space did, we may be looking at a game of one of the greatest games of our time. So gold star to the Brotherhood for not squirting out some pile of rubbish and giving people something they want and is actually enjoyable to play. This, coming from a guy who doesn't really enjoy horror games, says a lot. My name's been LatexFoil, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.